How long does new construction actually take in Northeast Florida? The answer is 6 to 12 months depending on the builder, but today I'm breaking down every stage of your new home from contract to keys so you know exactly what to expect. And before we get into those stages, I want to say something important for the two groups of people who are watching this video. If you're already under contract, this video is going to tell you exactly what is happening right now and what is coming next. And if you're still in the research phase, this video is going to help give you a plan that you can start trying to figure out a realistic timeline before you sign anything. Both of these conversations matter, and this video is going to cover both. So the range of a new construction home is 6 to 12 months, and that's very real, and it's driven primarily by which builder you choose. Production builders who build at a higher volume tend to move faster. 6 to 8 months is realistic with some builders. Premium builders like Toll Brothers, ICI Homes, and David Weekley, who offer more customization, they tend to run 8 to 12 months because the additional complexity, it just takes more time. Now, before you fall in love with a specific floor plan in a specific community, you want to ask the builder directly, what is the current contract to closing timeline on a to-be-built home? Get the answer in writing, and if you have a hard deadline, so like if your lease is ending, your kids are going to start school soon, or you have a job starting, make sure the builder's timeline, it actually lines up with your life before you sign. Now let me walk you through the stages, and the first one covers more ground than a lot of buyers actually realize. So stage one, we're talking about the contract, the earnest money, and the structural selections. So stage one is just simply contract day. And in Northeast Florida, new construction, this is one of the busiest days in the entire process because a lot is going to happen at once. When you sign a new construction contract, you are putting down an earnest money deposit. Depending on the builder and the price point, I mean, that can range from, a few $100s or a few $1,000s to 5% or 10% of the purchase price. On a $500,000 home, that could be $15,000 to $25,000 sitting with the builder from the moment you sign. The contract will lock in your lot, your floor plan, and the base price, plus any of the incentive conditions, what closing cost credits, rate buy downs you negotiated, that sort of thing. Now, here's what most buyers don't realize until they're actually sitting at the table. Your structural selections often happen at or very close to the same time as your contract. This is where you decide on the 3-car garage, the extended covered lanais, the tray ceilings, those 8-foot doors, bonus rooms. These are the decisions that change the physical layout of your home permanently. They get locked into the build plans immediately, and they really can't be changed after construction starts or without any significant cost or disruption. Walk into your contract day knowing what you want structurally. Do not leave these decisions to the last minute. I have a full video on my channel. It talks about what structural upgrades are worth every penny in Northeast Florida and which ones you should probably skip. Go watch that video before you ever sit down at the table. Now, once your structural selections are locked in, the next thing that happens is the one that honestly catches a lot of people off guard just because of the timing of everything. Now, stage two is going to be the design center appointment. This one's a lot of fun, and it happens before the build begins. Typically within a few weeks of signing your contract, this is when you're going to make every finish selection for your home. So we're talking your flooring, the countertops, cabinet colors, the hardware, the tile, everything that makes the home actually look and feel like your own. Now, the design center appointment typically lasts several hours, maybe more, and a lot of buyers, they need multiple sessions to complete all of their selections. So just go in prepared, know your budget for your design upgrades, and have just a general direction on the aesthetic that you're looking for. And know which rooms matter the most to you so you can prioritize your upgrade budget where it's going to make the biggest impact. Now, missing your design center appointment or delaying your selections can push your build back from the start. So the builder can't submit their finalized plans for permitting until both structural and design options are completely confirmed. So treat the design center appointment as seriously as the contract signing itself. Now, funnily enough, I actually have another video on this channel about the real cost of new construction that really hones in on design center spending in detail. Go watch that video after this one as well, because before you walk into that appointment, you need to have a good understanding of what your budget's going to be. It's one of the biggest mistakes buyers make when they go in. Drop a comment if you've been through a design center appointment. What surprised you the most? I think people who are new to this process would love to hear what kind of caught you off guard, especially the ones who are doing it for the first time. Anyways, once your selections are completely locked in and the builder submits everything for permitting, your build officially begins. So stage 3 is going to be permitting, and after your structural and design selections are finalized, the builder will submit your plans to its local municipality for a building permit. In Northeast Florida, that means submitting to either Clay County or Jacksonville County, or City of Jacksonville and St. Johns County, depending on where your community is located. Permitting timelines vary, and in most cases in Northeast Florida, permitting runs 2 to 6 weeks. So St. Johns County has been known to run longer during periods of like just high construction volume, because of the volume of new construction permits being submitted is quite significant right now. So during that permitting stage, your home's not actually being built yet. This is where it's going to feel very quiet. The clock is running on your overall timeline, but physical construction has not started. That's very normal. Don't panic if you drive by your lot and you don't see anything happening for a few weeks. That is normal. So stage 4 is going to be the pre-construction and the site prep. So here, once the permit is fully issued, right, and the builder begins preparing your lot and maybe even clearing it if needed, so like grading the land, staking out the foundation dimensions, and just preparing for the concrete pour. In Florida, this also includes soil testing and like work related to like water management and drainage, which is pretty significant here sometimes in comparison to like northern states due to just Florida's water table. Pre-construction and site prep typically takes 1 to 3 weeks, and at the end of this stage is when your slab is actually going to be poured. For a lot of my buyers, the slab pour, in that moment, it starts to feel very real, right? You can finally see the footprint of your home on the ground, and then it just kind of clicks that this is actually happening. Now, stage 5 is going to be the actual framing of your home, and this is the stage that surprises a lot of buyers. Once the slab is cured and framing begins, your home goes up very quickly, right? The frame of a production builder home in Northeast Florida can go up in as little as 1 to 2 weeks once framing crews are actually on the site. Framing is when your floor plan stops being just lines on a sheet of paper and it becomes a 3-dimensional space you can really actually start walking through, right? The tray ceiling you selected at contract is going to be visible in that framing. The extended lanai dimensions are visible. The 3-car garage footprint is just right there in front of you. It all starts to come together very quickly. This is the stage where I always recommend buyers do a self-guided walkthrough of the frame with their floor plan in hand. Catching a framing issue before a drywall actually goes up is infinitely easier and less expensive than catching it after. Now, this is actually a service I provide to a lot of my out-of-state clients. I'll actually go and walk your drywall for you or the framing for you, so that way you're able to make sure that everything is aligned perfectly. Okay, so stage 6, your mechanical rough-ins and the pre-drywall inspection. Now, this is a really big one. The mechanical rough-ins is basically just when your electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC systems, they get installed inside the walls before the drywall goes up. All of the wiring, all of the pipes, all of the ductwork, it goes in during this stage. Once the drywall goes up, you can't see any of it, right? So this is why the pre-drywall inspection is super critical. Get an independent home inspector, not the builder's inspector, you need your own, to walk through at this stage. I cannot stress this enough. Get an independent home inspection at the pre-drywall stage. Even on a brand new home, a few $100s for an independent inspector at this stage is one of the best investments you will make in this entire process. Your builder typically will notify you when the pre-drywall inspection window is actually open. And I'll be honest, typically it's a short window, right? Sometimes as little as a few days. Have your inspector lined up in advance so you do not miss it. I have my own preferred list that I can definitely share with you once you get closer to that time. Okay, so stage 7 is the drywall and interior finishes. This is the longest single stage in the construction process, and it covers everything that happens after the walls go up. Your drywall gets hung, mudded, taped, and painted, then your flooring actually goes in. Cabinets get installed, countertops go in, the fixtures get installed, appliances go in. They do the trim and the millwork, all of that goes in. Everything you selected at the design center starts showing up in your home one piece at a time. Now, this stage typically runs 6 to 10 weeks, depending on the complexity of your selections and the builder's crew's availability, right? During this stage, buyers often feel like nothing is happening because the visible progress, it slows down compared to the framing. Again, this is normal. The work is happening on the inside, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. Okay, so stage 8, this one's really exciting. This is going to be your final touches and the certificate of occupancy. The final touches include exterior landscaping, driveway completion, paint touch-ups, just those punch list items from the builder's own quality walk, installation of any remaining fixtures, and the final clean of the home. The certificate of occupancy, or the CO, is the official government document that certifies the home has been built to code and is now safe to inhabit. Your builder cannot close with you until that CO is issued. Occasionally, the final inspection identifies items that probably need to be addressed before the CO is issued, which can add a short delay to your closing timeline. Don't freak out, that happens with these builders. I will help walk you through that. Okay, so stage 9 is the final walkthrough and closing. This is where you're gonna be walking around the home with your blue tape. The final walkthrough is your last chance to inspect the home before you close and then take possession of it. You walk through every room with the builder's representative and identify any items that need to be corrected before closing. We're talking scratch floors, paint touch-ups, fixtures not properly installed. Anything that's not right, it gets documented and then the builder commits to addressing it. Bring your buyer's agent or myself to that final walkthrough. 2 sets of eyes typically will catch more than one issue. Having someone at the table whose job is to advocate for you ensures that those punch list items are all going to get properly documented and addressed. The time between the final walkthrough and the closing is typically 1 to 2 weeks, so just make sure your financing is completely in order well before this stage. Last minute financing surprises are one of the most stressful things that can happen this close to the finish line. Now, quick pause. If you are getting ready to start this process in Northeast Florida, maybe you're already under contract and you just want somebody who knows these builders and these timelines in your corner, reach out to me. My info is on the screen. Whether you're trying to figure out, which builder timeline fits your move, or you just need somebody walking through all of the procedures with you. I do this every single week for a lot of people moving here and it costs you nothing. Feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help you. Now, before we end, let's talk about what can actually cause a delay. The most common causes of delays in Northeast Florida as it relates to new construction are going to be your permitting backlogs, supply chain issues on specific materials or appliances, or subcontractor availability during those peak construction seasons. Even sometimes maybe weather events like a hurricane or something. Plan for the longer end of your builder's timeline range rather than the shorter end. If your builder is going to tell you 6 to 9 months, plan for 9. If they say 8 to 12, simply just plan for 12. And if you have a hard deadline, build in a buffer and have a backup plan if that closing day slips. Communicate proactively with your builder throughout the process. Check in regularly, visit your lot, know where you are in the timeline. Buyers who stay engaged and informed throughout this whole build process consistently have better outcomes than buyers who sign and then disappear for 6 months. Y'all, the new construction process in Northeast Florida is genuinely exciting. And when you know what to expect at every single stage, which hopefully now you do, if you're getting ready to start this process, reach out to me before you visit a single sales office. All of my info is here on the screen. Tell me your timeline, tell me your budget, and I will make sure you are matched with the right builder in the perfect community for where you need to be and when. And if you want to go deeper on what to watch out for before you actually sign, I have a full video on this channel on the new construction contracts. It pairs very well with everything that we've covered today. So take a look at one of these. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.